What's up, Soul Nation? Ginger Prime here, and I'm so happy to report that the PvP in Final Fantasy XIV is amazing, and that's what this video is going to focus in on, plus a couple other things. And if you're worried about spoilers, no worries whatsoever. I haven't done the story, I haven't done the raid, I have just sat in PvP and also gotten completely consumed by my player profile portrait. And that's what this video is going to focus in on, why you should maybe consider checking out PvP. But overall, people continue to ask, hey, is PvP good? Should you do it? Like, should I be able to jump in and play this evening without any worries or fears? And yeah, like, welcome to a new era in Final Fantasy XIV. Now, I will be putting together specific PvP controller guides along with my PvE controller guides, and it's so great to be able to sit here and say there's a difference, because when you step into PvP on your job, it's so different. They have, like, outside of Crystalline Conflict, which we'll talk about, PvP itself is insane. Like, it's the whole overflow, the overwork of the jobs feels incredible. Now, I've only played 3, back to back to back, Black Mage, Red Mage, and Summoner, and honestly, absolutely adore all of them. Right now, we're really leaning into the Black Mage, how it works, and I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be putting those guides together. Top pinned comment will take you over to Ginger JRPG, where you'll find my controller guides for both PvE and PvP. So just note, those are going to be rolling out here on that channel really quickly. So I cannot wait for you to kind of take part in that. And thank you so much for checking out that channel if you end up doing. Also, like, favorite, subscribe, and share all the standard YouTube stuff, as it really helps out these videos and more. So I think first and foremost, when you just talk about how the jobs feel, they feel so good. The changes in terms of everybody being able to have some kind of heal and how that all balances itself out in the match, it means so much to me, and it also means so much to you, because those queue times are near 0 seconds. Obviously it's launch day, people are excited, but being that there's no role restrictions means that if anybody wants to PvP, all you need is 10 people. Before, you needed specific roles filled, and that just, I think, fundamentally continued to hurt the community, so much so that you needed to go outside just to try and figure out how to play and utilize it. Now, currently in the game, there is like the concept of teams, but there is no connection right now to Crystalline Conflict, meaning the only negative that I actually see other people talking about in chat literally is that you can only solo queue for both ranked and casual. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I can't tell the difference between ranked and casual at the moment at all. So I think that there's going to be some changes to that system here in the near future. We'll just have to wait to see as they gather feedback and kind of see how things are going. But you lose a match, you win a match. All that really kind of is the difference between winning and losing is just a couple of different points here and there. You get 700 for losing in terms of your series. You get 900 for winning in terms of your series. You get to like around 240k at level 85 for losing in terms of leveling experience, which you can still level through PvP. Or you get just under 500k around level 85. That's going to probably scale and adjust depending on my level, but at the end of the day, it's just nice to have. Plus, Garo is going on right now, and again, I'll have to put out a guide. So for those of you who don't know how to do the Garo system, note that's going to be coming over to Ginger JRPG here as well. There is a lot to do, and there's going to be a lot to talk about, and there's a lot of videos, and I'm going to be getting ready to roll out to you guys as quickly as possible, so hopefully you guys enjoy the content. All right. The matches themselves, they're fast, they're fun, you have so much going on. Even if the team has a healer and you don't, your team doesn't have a healer, yeah, you can still win. It's really coming down to there's a team aspect in terms of coordination, but it isn't so heavily relied on that, and your quick communications will mark the targets and help out, so that way you know what's going on and where you should focus. Makes it so much easier. But then for me on the Black Mage, so freaking good. You literally have the ability to start really like learning your skills and how they kind of combo to output the most amount of damage possible. I've seen some people outputting insane numbers, and right now my numbers keep climbing up and up and up as I get more comfortable with them. Getting knocked out is a bummer, but I like also how that timer keeps increasing. So the more times you go down, the less likely, the more advantage the opposing team has. So there is a reason to knock people out, but it's still about getting that crystal down the field. So you have the tactical component, but you also have the versus component, and you have the ability to self-recover and self-sustain and guard. And so you're not left out relying on just one player. So if you, like before, had just a healer, your healer versus their healer, like that's what determined the PvP match. And the matches were slow, especially if you had good healers. So nothing really happened. Here, it feels like there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of give and take. And it just feels great. It literally just feels like you want it to do. And this is where we get into the even the cooler part. The thing that shocks me as the non-glamour guy, the portrait system. Holy freaking crap. This is incredible. This should absolutely, well, this will absolutely take up a lot of your time. This is going to take up a huge chunk of your time because it's just that good. Now, people are asking, hey, dude, the portraits only unlock when when you get to a certain point in the story. No, you have access to them. Go nuts. You will open up new features to your portraits as you progress through the story or PvP or more. They've integrated this system into everything. And then within the matches, you get to see the little profile things. It is truly the most, like, I felt connected to my character, but also the personality that bleeds through the other characters, just portraits. Is freaking fun. I hope they put this into more content. I would love to see that level of intro brought into a dungeon. I don't know. I think it would be worth it. Let me know in the comments if you agree. I'm just freaking giddy, guys. Like I'm so excited. I think Final Fantasy XIV and to the people who have advocated against PvP, because I've always been advocating for more PvP and a better system, and it feels like I got my wish. Like I've been giving this directed feedback to the devs for a very long time. And I feel like whether they got it directly or not, they listened. And that's actually really important because one of the things I do want to talk about is the FOMO here, but we'll get to that in a second. One of the things I feel just really important on is that it's about getting in and it's about activity, and that queue time being non-existent is such a help. In fact, the only time I feel like you're waiting for it to pop is that as the server's trying to get connected. And clearly there's the facet of that it is day one, right? But that role being removed and saying like, hey, just people want to play, let them play. I think that's going to keep that queue times very quick. And as long as the queue times don't get long, then I think the PvP is going to actually be able to build up a healthy community, especially in times where you're waiting for PvE content, especially in times when you're waiting for that next level, like the next raid to drop or things like that. You can be able to jump in and there's always going to be a match ready for you as long as there's 9 other people on your data center who are wanting to play. And I think that's not going to be a problem because before that role restriction was just killing the community. And now that it's gone, I think the fact that you do have everybody has their own ability to recover, so you're not relying on a healer being in your party, and the fact of even if the opposing team has a healer and you can still win those matches is really, really critical. I can't wait to experience all the different jobs in PvP. The level and the identity that they have, that they bring to the flow, and how that they can change the battle is truly interesting, especially because the only real restriction here is that you won't see 2 summoners on one team. They're going to make sure that you have a variety of different jobs that are connected, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of balance adjustments ultimately get made. But right now, like, I'm just having the absolute time of my life, and this is definitely a system that you should at least try out a few times. It's going to be an adjustment because PvP it's supposed to be. You're not supposed, like, dying in PvP isn't the be all end all. It's a fact. That's something that should happen in a deathmatch or in this crystalline conflict style mode. So embrace it. Like, note that it's okay. You're not a bad player because you get knocked out. I get knocked out. Everybody's going to get knocked out. It's not like PvE where dying actually negatively impacts you. It does here, but not that bad. Like, you're going to get knocked out. You're going to knock some people out. It's going to feel satisfying. The one thing I wish that I could see them add into the future is within the feasts kind of pop up with the crowd applauding and more. I would like to see that with it. They have a notification system so you can see when people get like knocked out, but I think that could definitely benefit from more fanfare. And I would love to see that brought into Frontlines. I'd like to see that entire system kind of have this cohesive measure. Now, obviously ranked is a part of this, like the season that's going on in terms of like what's going on with Crystalline Conflict, but the series is still benefiting from playing in the other content. And right now Rival Wings is kind of on hold, but we do have Frontlines. So I hope that with these changes, we start to see a bustling PvP community. When they eventually bring back Rival Wings and more, it will be interesting to see what functionally happens in terms of the mode. Like, do you have to have I don't know how to solve those problems in terms of getting more people involved. And maybe the series ends up being where they just incentivize more series experience based off the different types of matches. So you get the certain amount of experience in the Crystalline Conflict because it's quicker matches, and then the front lines and the other modes give you way more experience because they're going to be longer matches. So maybe that's essentially kind of how that all balances and shakes itself out. But the real thing is that people aren't going to want to wait around 30 minutes for like a 5-minute match. Like, that's just the real reality of it. And I don't think they will, because they've really, I think, got something special finally rocking and rolling in terms of PvP. My hope is that it helps like feed the hungry, feed the people who really want PvP, and we could start to see more of that PvP style community kind of growing and having like content to do, which can help again, close the gaps between like the different raids and stories and more. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the rantings of this crazy lunatic who loves Crystalline Conflict. I wanted to sit down and put my thoughts together for you, so that way you had them if you wanted them, because people keep asking. So maybe this is something that will be good for you for today. Thanks so much for your time. Hopefully you have a great day. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video. But until then, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with a clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh yeah.